Hey, what is up, everybody? It is Uncle Mad post-match after Nashville SC defeats Charlotte FC 2-1. Back this live stream. We took a while to get this spin up. It's supposed to be a Friday night stream. I was going to try to do it this afternoon, and just work and life just kept getting in the way. But it's cool to be able to do one post game. I haven't done like a post game kind of instant reaction live stream before that I can remember. So kind of cool to jump in, be able to do this one. We got S. Smith in the chat. He says, Sup with you, brother. We're home. We got 3 points, had a good night. Good result for the boys in gold. I'm going to keep this one a little short. I'm not going to lie. Like, I shout out my guys and like the Battered Heron, some of the other content creators out there that do these post-game streams. I'm exhausted. I don't know how these people can like go to the games, come home, do the match, and then do a stream afterwards. So I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. Like, because a lot of the stuff I was going to talk about anyway was going to be like preview stuff for Charlotte. But now that match has already happened, I got my club band on. I was in the club section tonight. I ripped that off. Stay tuned for the game day vlog for that one, because that'll have all the details of what we got into during the game there. Fun game. You know, it's been a up and down season so far for Nashville SC, but to go out and finally get 3 points, get a result, get a win was obviously huge for the club. Let me pull up. I'm actually trying to be a little more professional in this stuff lately. I've been trying to keep some notes. This is going to be hard to do because a lot of these notes were notes I made up before when I was this was going to be a pre-match stream. So let me see. Miami recap. That was the first thing I want to talk about. End of the day, Miami, I mean, you know, say what you want about the way we played, say what you want about the lineup. There was questions here and there. I mean, Miami's just better. I mean, if you've got Lionel Messi, if you've got Luis Suarez in MLS, they're still at a level that's just like a cut above. Like multiple top teams in Europe would still want Lionel Messi. He's not like washed up, you know, last legs type player that we've seen come to MLS in the past. So, I mean, that's the first thing you got to say. First thing you got to say is ultimately when you got Lionel Messi, when you got Suarez, they're just better. There's just not so much you can do with that. I did think Gary Smith overthought the lineup selection a little bit, specifically putting Dan at center back and kind of the weird like half back five, back four hybrid thing he was trying to play there. I mean, he's had so much success, like just kind of like lining up and playing against Miami. Like, I don't know why he overthought that in that regard. You know, in the whole issue of like what's going on with like Jack Marr, where he wouldn't start him, and then Josh Bauer was the first center back off the bench when we kind of realigned. But then Jack came back in the starting lineup tonight, so that's all very confusing. But I don't know. I think if Gary had kept it simple and just kind of stuck with what had worked in the past, we might have had a better sense of things. But I can also understand his thought process. We need to go for goals. So like having Dan and Taylor Washington both in the team, two more attack-minded players in your back four, as opposed to, you know, Jack Marr, Josh Bauer out initially when you need to go for goals. Like, I can understand it, but I think he just kind of overthought it a little bit in that regard. It's funny you're looking back in retrospect now because I had what's up with the crosses. I think everybody who watched that match, especially from a Nashville SC perspective, the Miami match I'm talking about, was like, why did we cross the ball 700 million times in the first half, especially considering we weren't playing Sam Surridge. Like, Tyler Boyd was playing as like a false nine, like a 5'8" Tyler Boyd is a false nine, and we just kept whipping in crosses. And then today, against Charlotte, we scored 2 goals off crosses. Alex Moyle finally finishes a golden cut chance. Sam Surridge scores exactly the goal that we brought him in to score. But it is so weird, like how we just thought, like, let's just keep whipping in crosses when Miami has 15 guys in the box and we have a 5'8" false nine in there. It was a weird decision. Whatever, we've moved on. Second half of the Miami game, I thought looked more like what we would expect Nashville SC to look like, what we can build on, what we can grow from. We were driving in the box more. Hani was coming deep. I think like Hani is just so used to feeling like he has to be making those forward runs. Like, he's got to get more used to coming back and getting on the ball because we need him on the ball. He's our most creative player. He's the guy who's going to create the most chances for other people around him. And I think he's so used to being the only person who can possibly score. His first instinct has become to go towards goal himself. And so, like, first half, he got like 0 touches. And second half, he started coming deeper. He started receiving the ball more. He started trying to set Sam up. That's the partnership we got to get going. It looked better in the second half. It looked great tonight against Charlotte. Hopefully, we can build on that moving forward. Note check. Yeah, that's everything out of Miami. Then the next thing I had listed was the Charlotte preview, which is pointless at this point. But I mean, a lot of things I was thinking about was like came true. Like, I legit could not have named a single player on Charlotte's team going to this match. I read Speedway Soccer's pre-match preview to try to like get caught up on some of the information, and I was still like, none of this makes sense. I don't know. I've never heard of these people. Their most famous person I know is their coach, Dean Smith, who is like, it's very funny that the North Carolina soccer team's head coach is named Dean Smith. But he's basically like almost like a more, at least in the English game, successful version of Gary Smith, where he's like pragmatic, sets his team up to defend well, wants to break on the counter. I really coming into the game, I thought both teams just like take turns sending long balls back and forth to each other. Like, you take the ball, you take the ball, you take the ball. But Nashville SC, credit to them. They did well with the ball. They attacked well. They moved the ball around. Still, once again, seemed to default to like, we just have to cross the ball. There's just nothing else we can do. We got goals out of it this time, though. Great. Happy for that. But yeah, it was such a weird matchup. It was interesting to see if we would rotate the squad coming off the midweek match with Miami, or if now that we know we're at a Champions Cup, if we just kind of like go full bore ahead, really lock in on MLS and start pushing for those points in those matches. It was kind of like a hybrid half. Like, we rotated the midfield. We brought in Anunga and Yearwood, dropped Davis and Godoy. Wheel played again, and Schaffelberg got rested. Back four was probably the strongest back four you would expect to play, with the exception of Dan Lovitz got a rest and Taylor Washington played. And I love Alex Moyle. Like, he is my kind of guy, my kind of player, just workhorse, grinder, not the most skilled player in the world. But I mean, in the last like 3-4 games, the amount of times he has somehow been the player that ends up on the end of clear-cut, definitive, have to be goal scoring chances, and he's botched them. It's like, we got to get to a point where he's not a guy that's on the field that consistently. He scored tonight. He finally got it. I was so happy for him. One of those where it's a cross and he throws himself at it and finally put it on the goal. So happy for that. But I mean, I'm just thinking, like, in the last couple of matches, like, if Sam Surge is the guy that's on the end of some of the Alex Muyl chances, if Randall Leal is the guy who's on the end of some of these Alex Muyl chances, how many different results do we get in the last like 3 or 4 matches? But I mean, that's his credit. Like I said, he's a grinder. He's a workhorse. He's always available. He's always able to go. He's not like Randall Leal, who's just perpetually hurt and never will play and might not even exist for all we know. I don't know. So I hate to like rag on him and give him a gripe, but I'm just like, at the same time, I'm like, I'm more skilled. How is he the guy that seems to be the one who's on the end of all of our best scoring chances when he does not have a great track record for being scored? Shout out Nashville SC. I don't know if I've noticed this yet, but this is the little cloverleaf glowing logo thing they handed out tonight. That's pretty cool. All right, we're going through this. Like I said, I'm trying to wrap this one up. I'm trying to keep this one short. Apologies that we didn't get that out sooner. We didn't do what we usually do with this. I am just gassed. Southern title belt. Okay, so this was Nashville SC's first match in this year's competition for the Southern title belt, which I believe is a championship belt that was concocted between several of the supporters groups from multiple clubs in MLS. I believe Mixtape is the Nashville SC group that started this thing, and it's us. Do I have anything that documents this? Let me see. I think I took a picture that I wanted to reference because I had all the information on it. All right. Southern Championship belt includes Nashville SC, Atlanta United, DC United, and Charlotte FC. It's basically like a year-long competition between those 4 clubs to win this belt. The one thing I've never understood, still don't understand, I've never heard an explanation for it. How is DC United in the Southern Championship Series? I'm not a geography major, but Washington, D.C. is in no way, shape, form, or fashion in the South. Cincinnati is more in the South than they are. Columbus, maybe even, is more in the South than they are. Orlando, Miami, Dallas, Houston. I mean, I don't know. I know this was like a thing that was like started by a collection of leadership from several different supporter groups, and I don't know, maybe DC was just like, hey, we like you guys, we want to be a part of this. But I mean, how are they in the Southern Championship? But we claimed 3 points, gave ourselves an early advantage to retain our Southern Championship that we've held for the last couple of years. So good start there. Great, glad, happy we did that. What a game! It was a really well controlled game. We dominated possession for the most part, which is not something we do very often. But at the same time, like I mentioned, Dean Smith is kind of like Gary Smith. It seems like where he wants Gary Smith. Am I mixing names up? Was it Dean Smith versus Gary Smith? I don't know. Both managers probably wanted the same strategy of the game, and ultimately we were the ones that had to like generate more possession, and we did well. Like, their goal was probably one of maybe like 2, 3 clear-cut chances they had in the game. So, score 1 out of 3 is not bad. We probably should have scored a few more because we just had a lot of possession, a lot of good chances that we created. I think, the thing coming out of the Miami game, coming out of this early part of the season, coming out of this game is there's positive signs. I know we've been very negative on Gary Smith in the fan community. I do think we're trying to do some things differently. I thought there was a lot more. Yeah, I think we in the last few matches, even going back to the Miami matches, we've pressed more, we've pushed the tempo more. How long will that last? Will he revert to what he said, what he's done in the past? Will we start parking the bus again? Which I don't know if we really parked the bus, but that's another conversation for another day. I don't know. I like what I've seen. I'm encouraged by what I've seen. I don't know that you can hang your hat on anything yet, but at the same time, there's been so much stop-start with the injuries, with the squad rotation from the weird match congestions that we've had. It's hard to really fully get a read on where Nashville SC is right now, but I think I've seen some things between the lines, some positive signs that make me pretty confident that if we can stay healthy, if we can build on that, if we can get going in the right direction, we could really put a run together and have a good season. And that's what we're hoping for. Ultimately, that's the end of the day. That's all you want from your team. I think we're going to wrap it up. I was going to talk some Titan stuff on this one, but I am just so tired, and there's probably going to be like a lot more stuff that's going to come out Titans wise over the next few weeks. It'll probably be better just delay, get closer to the draft, and like do like a big full on like off season recap once we get closer to the draft and kind of look to there. I mean, Calvin Ridley, that's a huge signing. That's crazy. That was a huge signing. But I was going to talk a little bit more about it, but apologies. I am gassed. Like I said, shout out to the guys that'll come and do these like live streams post match. My guys better at Herons. I know there's content curators at multiple other teams that do this, but I had to get my live stream in. I wanted to do it just because I tried to get it in so hard earlier this week and just life got in the way. And I felt like, I don't know, it feels like it's a weird thing in this world where it's like, man, I said I was going to do this. I need to do it. So got it done. Probably wasn't the best. Maybe would have been better off not doing it at all. But just got home, wanted to jump on and share my thoughts. So I have recorded a lot for the game tonight. So there will be a full live game vlog coming tomorrow. And I'll probably maybe even have more details than that, sharing my thoughts on the actual match. Because like at this point in time, I'm just so scatterbrained, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But for anybody that jumped in and watched, I appreciate it. We had a couple chats coming in before we even started. So sorry that I missed you guys. Yep. Sorry that I missed you guys. Like Llama Vomit had some comments earlier today when I was originally going to go live at 4. S. Smith 430 has been jumping in the chat the whole time. Man, hopefully WWE. Yeah. We could definitely do with the WWE show coming up soon. That'd be really cool. But I'm gassed. We got to call it a night. I'm really happy. Nashville SC got their 3 points tonight. Yep. WWE comes back to Nashville. My favorite wrestler is Cody Rhodes. He's been on fire lately. Certainly going to be talking about that as we get closer to WrestleMania. I love to talk about wrestling, so we'll definitely have some wrestling chat coming up as we get closer to WrestleMania and see if Cody can finish the story. But for tonight, we're going to wrap it up. I appreciate everybody that watched. If you are watching this on a replay, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell on for notifications so you get alerted in future live streams. Don't miss anything. Words are getting jumbled. Things are happening. I'm tired. Come on, you boys in gold. Big win tonight. Great result. I may fall asleep on the stream. How many views could I get if I just fell asleep on the stream and just let it keep going? We'll never know because I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of the channel. Thanks for supporting me. Have a great night. And until the next time, enjoy your life.